into the shadows on Pop Talk Radio's horror broadcast, where screams linger and fears are vast. If you're brave, lend an ear to the chilling tales we steer. Join us, night spirits, for Halloween updates premiere.
Hello and welcome to your first, mostly dedicated episode to Halloween, Horror Nights, and other spooky updates and news stories here in the park realm. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful new intro curated by me, personally for the show when we talk about some Halloween stuff. This is Bill from Park Talk Radio, and tonight, my lovely co-host, your ghost host, Dave, is with us. How we doing, Dave?
Sign your pity on the Runicon. Sarate.
And Sadate to you.
Do you know what that's from?
No.
It's from Pootie Tang, dog. Best movie ever made. Pootie
Never
Tang.
seen it. What the hell?
What? You've never seen Pootie Tang?
I know what Pootie Tang is.
Dude, best movie ever made. Promise.
Promise.
It should have been in the summer. It should have been in the summer tribute store.
Is it a Universal movie?
I don't think so, but, but it's they still should have put it in there.
If it was a room in the summer tribute store, what would you see heading into the Pootie Tang room?
A bunch of belts. Leather belts.
Leather daddy belts.
Because
is that
for
it?
those that hadn't seen the movie, without spoil anything, Chris Rock was Pootie Tang's father. And anytime Pootie Tang acted out, Chris Rock will whip him with the belt.
Father
Right?
Tang?
Out of nowhere, just pow, just pull that belt off his midsection, just whip Pootie with it. And then when Pootie grew up to be a superhero,
Wait, he's a superhero. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, he's kind of like a superhero.
Kind of like, or is he? He has superpowers?
Hey,
Pootie has powers?
Pootie's got powers. The belt's his power.
The belt or the ability to withstand multiple belt whips?
The ability to wield the belt.
Wield the belt.
Think of it as like, you know, a lightsaber being passed on from a master Jedi to a Padawan. You know?
Oh, a shitty Mary Sue, Daisy Ridley, I know, that had some woman space walk through space and should have died, and Palpatine's back. But Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang's the Star Wars of the ghetto.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's coming together now. Is Chris Rock the most famous person in that movie?
There's a couple names, but he's by far probably the most.
Oh, Pootie's not played by a popular cat.
No, he's popular because he's Pootie Tang. Sarate with the Runicon.
Welcome to Park Talk Radio, episode 17. Giving our producer-editor Brennan plenty of possible titles in that opening little conversation. Thank you, Dave. As always, for your input. And immediately getting us off track, we got lots to talk about. I've had a couple park visits with Brennan. We got a couple recaps, and then we're going to dive right into all the announcements this past week brought to you from Universal Orlando. And that long-awaited promise to revisit the Hollywood Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights spec map. And this is a special episode for Dave and I. We met, bonded, and grew as good friends from the love of Halloween Horror Nights, and kind of why the show began was to talk about theme parks, what our passion is, shared conversation, opinions, and eventually get to some deep, meaty, thick Horror Nights content.
Yeah, it absolutely has to suck going to the theme park with Bill and I, because anybody else who's with us just has to be a third wheel of our Horror Nights conversation. So,
well, some of them like it. Some of them like being the cuck in the corner.
Yeah.
They enjoy that. Like, oh, wow. Let me just absorb this knowledge and these anecdotes and stories from way back when.
Some of the stories are completely unbelievable, but they all actually happened. So,
and then we keep talking about the same ones,
with y'all
and it gets real, I'm sure,
for
tiresome.
years to come.
For years to come. Though the bartenders at Duff and Alcatraz, they like it. Even though it's the umpteenth time they've heard it in the Stay and Scream zone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't like Shay, but go Duff.
Well, Shay is completely gone, is almost gone. The only thing left is the top of the building. The walls are down, the countertop's gone. I was peeking through some of the mesh. There's nothing left but the
If they never
roof.
make another Shark Attack drink ever again, I'll be happy.
Oh, they made, I saw at least 2 made when I was walking by it today.
Oh man.
Well, now they got the ocean attacks that are seasonally themed. They had the Halloween one, the Mardi Gras one.
Mm-hmm.
It's all sugar.
Ugh.
Yeah,
They're
spitting out right
drinks. Yeah, they're terrible drinks.
But you can join us on our socials at Park Talk Radio on all social medias. Brendan's been creating some pillar TikTok and Reels on our TikTok and Instagram pages. Getting some real good traction on them. Have you watched them yet? There, Dave.
Oh yeah, I do follow the TikTok. I haven't seen the Instagram stuff, but I was actually thinking before we recorded tonight that we're gonna have a lot of good TikToks come end of October, beginning of November for the cruise and horror nights. It's gonna be some fun TikToking around.
TikTok around the clock.
There's gonna be some questionable things on our TikTok come October. November.
Well, you gotta run them by a producer. I don't think she wants garbage on there. She does a lot of hard work on these things, man.
Well, she's the one that can take the TikTok.
Yes, relegated on this fun park trip or cruise. Hey, you're a TikTok girl. Get over there. Get over there and talk. You can find us on all social medias, and you can join our Facebook group. Not a whole lot of conversation, but you could be one of those who instigates and engages on that conversation. We got some good feedback from our buddy Joe Cool. He gives us some wait time updates and when he goes to visit some regional parks. You can also send us an email, parktalkradio@gmail.com. And Dave, we got our second voicemail.
We're hitting the big time, buddy.
Oh, it's done, Zoe. Better
it's
pack
probably
up your...
gonna be it's probably another one calling out one of my fun facts or talking shit about me, but I'm fine with that.
Pack up your bags and your babes. We've hit the big time. 2 voicemails in 17 episodes. About almost 30 hours of content, and we finally done it. We're out of here, fellas. We're shutting down. 2 voicemails.
The way I look at it,
today.
We're 2 for 3 of the last 3 episodes, so 2 for 3 ain't bad.
66%.
2 out of 3
not failing.
Bad.
Not failing. You can do that by calling 407-490-2220. You can also send us a text message, and we'll be happy to converse with you. And if you want it displayed or talked about on the show, we'd be happy to do that. And I think last episode, Dave was offering his vacation planning services.
Yeah, I was hammered last episode, but no, yeah, if you want to call and ask any questions, we can't be a quote unquote vacation planner for you, but we'd be happy to help answer any questions, whether it's, best hotels, times where you should be getting up, going to the park, best route to hit the rides. We can answer questions.
Some of your less savory thoughts, the darkest corners, the most quiet bathroom. We can get you there.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And if you love sharing urinals, we're you guys to talk to.
That's going to come up here in just a little bit. Couple items to recap before we jump into those things as we review some previous topics from prior shows. As a reminder, we do drop on Mondays, and this episode is planned to come out Monday on Memorial Day. Hope you all have a safe, long, enjoyable weekend. I will be in South Florida. Dave will be working. Fucking nerd.
Yeah. Great.
Well, how bad does Memorial Day get out there for you?
Memorial Day is one of our busiest holidays on the water. It's nuts. I can't even describe it. Think New Year's or Christmas Day at Disney.
Oh shit!
On Crab Island, yeah.
Does Crab Island hit capacity? Are there people turning boats away at the turnstile?
If there were capacity, it would hit capacity for sure. It's way over capacity.
Oh, buddy, I do not envy you.
No, it's gonna be nuts.
Well, wish you the best of luck. Stay safe, and hopefully bring you back on for episode 18. I don't want to find a new co-host.
I'll try my best.
All right. Well, we look forward to hearing about the Crab Island adventures next week.
I might have some fun stories.
Well, I hope so. You gonna have a recording crew out there this weekend?
No, the television show's gone. They're not recording this anymore.
That's it.
So,
all right. Well, that'll be next year.
They're gone. That'll air spring of next year, and they'll be back filming with me again next year.
Sweet. As mentioned, recapping some previous stories with a final or new update. Show comes out Monday. We're recording on Thursday, May 23rd. May 24th, Friday, Disney Springs drone show will have debuted. Disney Dreams That Soar. And this will be over the lagoon on the water side of Disney Springs. Now, the position of the drone show, it does make symbols and logos and characters and spells out words. This will be pointed towards Jaleo, Summer House, House of Blues area. It's going to be pointing over on that direction. Now, you'll be able to see the back of it. The words will be backwards, of course, but you'll be able to see that probably around the Rainforest Cafe, Volcano Bar. Anywhere else is going to be kind of a angled, obscured view, just to let you know what the best viewing angle will be. There's already videos online. The cast member previews did occur. It was early as shit, I believe this morning or Wednesday morning. I haven't watched it yet. I plan on going maybe Saturday.
I scrolled past a video of somebody with a recording. I didn't watch it though.
Oh, I was hoping you have watched and get your feedback and tell me if it's super lame or not.
No, I didn't. I scrolled right past it. So
I don't know if I'm gonna go tomorrow, Friday. That is, from the day of recording and see it opening night. It's gonna be an absolute mess. It's Friday, Memorial Day weekend, opening night. They do 2 shows, somewhere around 8 o'clock and then around 10:55 or 11:30, right before Springs closes. They do one more show. And this does impact the water taxis and the balloon that takes off from the barge right by the corner shopping store next to the AMC. Sorry, I don't remember what that store is called. It's by the churro stand, the big fancy premier luxurious churro stand. Those will be closing around 8 o'clock for the show to go off, instead of going up until Disney Springs shutdown time.
yeah, can't have no drones falling on people's boats.
Ugh, how boring. If it hits your boat and it falls in, you get to take it home. Take home that like $12,000 drone.
It's like going to a baseball game and catching a home run.
Oh,
Cheers.
man. I went to Disney. All I got was this free, stupid drone.
If you survive.
How heavy do you think those things are?
Oh, they got to be pretty heavy. Falling from that altitude, I'm sure they cause some damage.
From that altitude? Pulling up, trying to find how much this thing weighs. They're saying the drones weigh between half a pound to 1 pound.
Yeah, but falling from 300 feet in the sky? Yeah.
Well, what's the terminal velocity? How much is that going to smack you on the head for?
I don't know. Will Smith said it Men in Black 3. It's something feet per second per second.
Something. What's the? Oh God, who knows what it could be then? It could be it might as well be a brick. If it weighs a pound, 300 feet, it might give you a little knot. But free drone. Also debuting tomorrow and a return, Fantasmic at Disneyland will be returning to not the Seven Seas Lagoon, the Rivers of America in Disneyland, without the dragon animatronic, of course. The final battle is now a Peter Pan scene, I believe, though that is something that's returning from a previous iteration of Fantasmic. I'll probably watch a video of that once it's captured tomorrow. I look forward to seeing what they've done with the new iteration of the show.
I love Fantasmic.
Which version? The Disneyland or the Hollywood Studios?
I've not seen the Disneyland version, so Hollywood Studios. One time, there was a duck, and it sat right in front of me for the majority of the show. I'll post a picture. I named him Charles.
What, you in the first row and the duck sitting in the water while this nighttime Fantasmic is going on?
No, he was sitting on the rail. I took a picture of him before it started, and he just stayed there.
During the show?
The concrete slab, yeah. I didn't get any pictures of him during the show, but he sat on the concrete slab right in front of me the whole show.
Charles Fantasmic, a duck extraordinaire. He is here. He loves the nighttime Fantasmic. He wants to see Mickey
He
win.
He knew that water was going to be on fire soon, so he's like, I'm going to go sit by Dave.
Music's a jam. I really enjoyed the Disneyland version. You get to sit. Everyone has to sit down for that. And you sit on the ground. You're right against the railing of the Rivers of America, which, if you want to put it somewhere equivalent to Florida and Walt Disney World, to be if you're sitting at Magic Kingdom and you're against the rail, sitting on the ground facing Tom Sawyer Island, because Tom Sawyer Island transforms into the Fantasmic nighttime show, and the dragon animatronic Maleficent would come out of the island, which was so fucking cool. They did not replace that. We're getting an altered version. Hopefully it can maintain the prestige of the previous Fantasmic.
You saw the video from the Orlando one where Dopey fell from the second story of the boat.
He fell through the railing off the Mark Twain.
Yeah, it was one of my it was a Orlando version, but it's my favorite video
during the
he falls with during the finale when everybody's on the boat, he falls and it goes with the music so perfectly.
I think he lands on top of Goofy or something.
Yeah, he lands on top of Goofy. Yeah.
Dopey's walking around on the second floor of the Mark Twain Liberty Bell steamboat, and I guess he slips, goes right through the railing. Fortunately or not fortunately, falls onto the first floor, not into the water. Probably better that he didn't fall in the water. And lands on top of Goofy.
If he wouldn't have landed on Goofy, he would have went in the water, I think.
And all the other characters stay in character and just put their hands in their face like, oh God.
Yeah. I bet Dopey got fired.
Oh, how could Dopey get fired? He was just doping around, man. He slipped. Couldn't see. He's waving his flag too hard. So that tomorrow is a busy day for returns, for new openings, and also that Hyperion, the tallest, fastest coaster in Europe, opens at Europa Park as well. Top of mind, top of thought. Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening up June 28th. They have announced they will be having a special Mama Odie's hot sauce roasted pepper that will be debuting on the opening day. Can visit the Main Street Confectionery and Critter Co-op to pick up a bottle of Mama Odie's hot sauce. I'll probably get to check that out. Also available at Disneyland Park when the attraction opens up later this year. In addition, they'll also be able to purchase Dookie Chase seasonings.
Dookie Chase?
Yeah, Dookie Chase's gumbo base. Gumbo base, seafood seasoning, meat seasoning, and fried chicken seasoning. I'm surprised you've not heard of the old Dookie Chase with all the crawfish boils you do.
No, I've never heard of Dookie Chase.
Well, next time you boil some fish, get some Dookies in there.
Yeah, I don't boil fish, I boil crawfish, but I will try and get some Dookies.
Well, next time you boil some crawfish, get some Dookies so it will chase your butthole right out with that spice. This is founded by Chef Leah Chase, whose life helped inspire the creation of Princess Tiana. Very interesting. Very cool. Very legal. And finally two more real quick. These two items for the recaps. Disney filed notice of commencement permit for the Tropical Americas expansion of Disney's Animal Kingdom. This is going to be in the Dino Land and Dino-Rama areas. This notice of commencement reads that they are ready to build the trailers so they can get the creative Disney Imagineers in there and get to work. 2025, Universal opens up Epic Universe. 2025, Disney installs some trailers.
Gotta get that pre-work done.
Oh, geez, it's really it's pre-work. It's like a group project. The pre-work guys. We're gonna spend the first 3 weeks of the project on this, and then the last day we're just gonna bang out a Indiana Jones copy and paste ride. Got it. Good. B-.
Which
we're happy.
The vehicle motion and the track layout are already exactly what it's going to be anyway. It's a reskin. So I don't get.
Well, Disney's really good at them reskins, man. This Tiana's Bayou Adventure, pretty good reskin. Dinosaur to Indiana Jones reskin. They're gonna be really good at it come 2027 or 28 when it opens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
probably 2040.
That Disneyland Forward's supposed to be kicking around by 2030 or so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And the first Disney Magic Kingdom Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party date has sold out. Halloween is officially sold out already. It is May 23rd. It sold out a day or two ago, so May 21st. Halloween night sold out.
That's insane.
Fun
for it to already be sold out. I mean, hey,
that was $199 night sold out. Now I understand. It might make sense if you got kids and instead of maybe bopping around your neighborhood, or if you have to drive to another neighborhood, if you don't have good neighbors who don't give out candy, fuck you, give out candy. Be a good human. Be a good American.
Is more of a thing of the past, but a lot of people do the trunk or treating. Now, my neighborhood where I live is still a very popular neighborhood for trick or treating, so it's fun. But a lot of neighborhoods.
Is it you that sits out there scaring them while you're handing out?
No, I walk around the neighborhood with drinks while the kids trick or treat. Dressed as 11 from Stranger Things.
Oh, that's right, with your tiny dress and your hanging brain. Brendan and I will put out we're usually at Horror Nights for Halloween, and we'll put out a bucket of candy, and we have a video doorbell, and we'll see who comes up. We had a new record last year. We had one trick-or-treater come by.
Wow.
2 years ago, we had zero. Last year, we had one.
This year for Halloween, we'll be at Horror Nights, so.
Hey, it's a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I actually had somebody the other day, I told them that I was going during Halloween, and they were like, "You're nuts." And I'm like, Halloween's hit or miss for Horror Nights. I've seen years where it wasn't busy at all, and I've seen years where it was crazy. So hopefully people are still in that mindset of don't go in October, because I hate to throw the secret out there, but it seems like everybody got the memo that September's time to go, and September has seemed a lot busier than October. So
Halloween's on a Thursday.
But this person also said they went for the first time recently, and they only made it through 2 houses because the lines were so long. I'm like, you just didn't do it right.
Well, yeah, clearly you did it incorrect. If you only got 2 houses from a 6:30 to 2 a.m. event.
Yeah, but it was their first time going. They need to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, but there they go.
How to get multiple houses done.
See, there was a mistake. Not listening to the show, and if the show wasn't running yet, well, which it wasn't, still your fault. You should be looking out for us. The loud, rambunctious lovers in the park. That's it for show recaps. We have, for me on my side here, Davey, a couple park visits. Anything on your side, visit-wise?
No.
All right. As you may have seen already from...
Pardon me.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, God, I just got so upset. I'm not going to the theme park. I'm
a little
choking.
pissed off.
I'm choking. You may have seen from the reels or the TikTok posts, we were at the parks twice this week, Sunday for the DreamWorks Land preview of team members, friends, and family. And then we were there again today, day of recording, for the preview of the summer tribute store. I'm going to jump into DreamWorks Land first. First, I gotta say, it's so fucking hot out there, man. Holy shit, I got soggy sweat shoes from how hot and awful it was out there. That said, the DreamWorks Land refab, overlay, retheme, I gotta say, pretty dang cool. Brennan was super happy. They have brand new Shrek ear headband, so she has those. You'll see the full garb in the TikTok social media. Tried some of the food at the Shrek Swamp Snacks stand. And we interacted with most of the land. Now, the water effects weren't on yet. Those are going to be a great addition to it. There's a water play area in the Shrek play side, in the Shrek Swamp. There's water play area by the Kung Fu Panda area. And there's a couple other little features throughout. We went to Mama Luna's, played with the interactive cats. Not a whole lot going on there. There's Harold's Frog Symphony, where you can step on pressure plates and the animatronic frogs will sing with you. There is a nice little Easter egg. That I wasn't lying. If there you hit the 3 pads in a certain order, it does sound like the Budweiser frogs from the 2000s ad Bud Why. Sir, it's more like Why or probably to not. Yeah, sounds like it.
But yeah, definitely don't want to get sued by.
Don't want to get sued. Don't want to get in trouble. Don't want the mean Karen screaming, "There's beer in my kids' land." Despite them selling beer at the Swamp Snack stand and beer neutral seltzers at the Trolls ice cream cart. Plenty of alcohol in the kids' land here. Starting at the top, we did see this new Shrek meet and greet area. The Shrek house looks awesome. Life size, 1-to-1 from the movies. We got some swamp snacks from the stand. We tried the Shrexel, about $13 for a Shrek-shaped pretzel. It's a little tough. I gotta say, it wasn't as good as your other pretzels in the park. I really enjoy the Duff Everything pretzels. Super soft, great. The Gulden's mustard. Shrexel, still tasty. Got the green Shrek cheese. I had green poops.
Oh, so is that a so that's a add-on, or does that come with it?
It comes with it.
Okay. And it's a dipping sauce?
It's a dipping cheese. It's like a nacho cheese. It's not as nearly as thick or, I would say gross as your typical nacho cheese in a bag. It's definitely made somewhere else, and they put the green food coloring in, and that will turn your shit green. True as can be. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Can confirm. Colored poops.
Nice.
Always a favorite for the themed snacks and foods at these things, especially Horror Nights. The black bun burger.
Black buns.
Oh man, yeah. Black bun.
Yep.
Black Duke.
Green poop.
Green poop. Oh, when we had the cheesesteak a few years back with ZJ, that one was Black Duke's.
Yeah, that I do remember that.
Oh,
that was
God, it was terrifying. It was like Exorcist out my ass.
Yes. Dry cheesesteak, black poop.
Purging. I'm purging. We also had the Swamp Dog, which is a hot dog wrapped in a almost pretzel-like dough consistency, and that also has more green cheese inside there. That's only $10. Gotta say, that one was pretty tasty as well. Brennan had that one. And I had, in there, they have a 20-ounce Warsteiner German Pilsner to, I guess, associate with Shrek. Super good on a very hot day, very refreshing. They also offer Bud Light or Miller Light on draft, Monster, and some other canned beer.
I could use a nice theme park beer right now.
Oh man, nothing like spending $13 on a draft Pilsner.
Those first sips are always the best.
Oh man, they hit. It hit good.
Mm-hmm.
They also have available the Donkey's Far Far waffles. They have a ham and cheese, as well as a pepperoni one. It's a Belgian waffle, though it's half of one of your typical size. and inside you have cheese, ham, or cheese pepperoni. They look okay. Those are $12 a pop. And then they have some desserts here, prepackaged. But cup of dirt, always love me a cup of dirt. We did not catch the DreamWorks Celebration show. They were running it every hour, and it just didn't happen to line up. We walked around the Shrek Swamp Play area, where they have a Pinocchio animatronic. If you hit his button, he'll tell you some facts. And of course, if that little rascal's lying, his nose extends. And then you can go down a swirling slide that starts in Shrek's outhouse, and there's sensors within the slide. As you're going down, it makes a farting noise the entire way. Pretty fucking good.
I did see somebody on the slide. That's a neat little.
It's pretty good.
Neat little addition.
It's pretty good. We rode the Troller Coaster, which is the Woody Woodpecker Nut House coaster, right? That was the name of it.
Yes.
Yep.
Woody Woodpecker's Nut House coaster.
Yep. Same exact ride, new vehicle. The Troller Coaster Catter Bus is your ride vehicle, and it has a butt for some reason on the coaster car. I've not watched any of the Trolls. You catch any of those Trolls films?
Just the first one.
I think that's plenty.
When Avery was a little girl, she used to love watching it. So I've watched it a few times, and then now that Dave is about a year and a half, we've turned it on a couple of times for him.
Gotcha. And then Poe's Kung Fu Panda area. A lot of the effects weren't working yet. They did have the interactive screen-based Poe, where you can talk and he will give you Kung Fu tips and tell you how to stretch. No Kung Fu Panda food stand, which I would have really enjoyed that noodles offering or something of that sort. Yeah,
they had the noodle place for the Chinese New Year over in Hollywood with the meet and greets.
Oh, would have killed for it.
Where Poe's father was
Mr. Ping.
Kind of like Mr. Ping was an animatronic, kind of like Donkey. And then they had a noodle stand nearby. So
nope, Mr. Ping is nice. A 2D cutout here.
Now, with the Poe meet and greet, is it a sit down like Turtle Talk with Crush, or is it more of a walk by, kind of like the Chucky Scare Zone, where you walk by and they can?
It's built into the previous Curious George framing of the building. They kept all the frames. You walk in, it's more or less constantly going. There's no set times.
It's kind of like Vol in the volcano at
Volcano Bay.
Volcano Bay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. More or less consistently going. Probably with the actor, it's probably 40. It's probably 30 on, 30 off, or 20 on, 40 off, and they have a couple actors back there. It'll unlikely be not unmanned for this foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Overall, I give it a thumbs up. I give it a PTR bill, thumbs up of approval. Go check it out when it opens up on June 14th. If you have little ones, you'll have a great time. And even if you don't, it's always good to go see the new stuff. It's always nice that they're continuously improving and making things better at the theme parks from old stuff. That Kids Zone is from when it was open. It was 30 years old. They haven't done anything since then.
Mm-hmm.
Right next door, E.T., the new marquee is up. They almost had the new 8 sign, and the bathrooms, those precious Kids Zone bathrooms, got a brand new paint job. It looks like a forest mural with a moon on it. They'll probably add some bikes. It's looking great. Next door, the other side of store-bought sponge pants. The Kids Zone pizza sign, gone. They're probably going to paint that next. New retheme. However, flying in front of animal actors, the Woody Woodpecker Kids Zone, the flags are still flying high and free.
Aww.
And finally, the other visit, we went to the new tribute store. Highly encourage you to watch the video TikTok reel that we have of it that producer Brennan made. A lot of great new merchandise from Back to the Future, Shrek, Jaws, Ghostbusters, and E.T., all to reflect the new Mega Movie Parade and the sensational Water Symphonic Spectacular coming later this summer, June 14th for the Water Show, July 3rd for the parade. Brand new merch lineups across the board.
Okay, so the brand new merch, so some nice merch come out with this?
Some real good, real cool stuff. Every IP got a new Spirit jersey. There's some really good hats, some great tank tops, and a lot of the t-shirts came out really, really nice. Instead of doing
lounge flies for all the new lounge flies?
No new lounge flies.
Because those were the big thing, the last couple tribute stores that they had open was the new lounge flies.
Not new lounge flies. They do have a new ET circular bag, which I don't know if it's a lounge fly or not. But they have a lot of new t-shirts and tank tops.
I'll have to go online and look at all that merch. I love going through the tribute stores and looking at the merch.
Some of the highlights, they got this really cool, like I call them little hats. It's a tiny hat, tiny flat brim hat with a Back to the Future DeLorean on it. They have a Jaws straw hat, which is really neat. Every IP got a new pint glass that looks really good.
Are they the ones with the stickers on them?
Yes, that you cannot put in the dishwasher.
Okay, so it's kind of the basic ones that have been coming out lately, just a new.
But they're a full pint glass instead of the little cups.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
They have one of those like First Mate sailor hats, but it has the Jaws logo on it. That one's pretty neat. They got some new bottle openers. Those are all Jaws themed. Some new headbands. All the ET pins are wood-based, made from wood or recycled wood. They look really neat.
That's pretty neat.
And one of my favorite things is the ET cap, which has basically ET's full head 3D plush on top of the cap. Thing looks
so like
fucking ridiculous.
So like some of the stuff they sell over in Japan.
Yes.
Like, oh wow,
it looks ridiculous.
I'd wear it. So it kind of like the old goofy hats that the Magic Kingdom used to sell.
Yes, or the current Simba hat that they have over at old Disney. I'm gonna send you the picture of this ET hat real quick so you can take a look at it.
Go ahead and send me a picture, and I'm gonna let you know if I'm gonna have to have it or not.
Oh, I'm begging Brennan, you got to get this. It's fucking so ridiculous. It's so good.
That's awesome. I don't know where I'd wear that besides to the parks.
It's all you need. It's all you need. It's so good. It's so good.
That's not an everyday use hat for most people.
I'll see you. I'll be wearing that downtown in the clubs.
All right, let's get them and let's wear them on the cruise.
All right, done. Perfect. Or I'll get my little Jaws hat. Definitely check out this tribute store is one of the best, if not one of the top ones they've ever done. It's really, really, really good. They have a lot of great Easter eggs throughout. And they've also teased the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store already here, which it looks like it's going to be a haunted estate, including screams, thrills, chills, and more, refreshments, and entertainment, which, hey, there might be an actor in the Horror Nights tribute store this year.
That'd be neat. I know there's a poster for Wild Stallions.
Yes, there is.
At the tribute store.
And there's a whole printout list of those who are banned from the video store, which I wonder if there's anything to that.
People that are banned from the video store?
Yeah, there's a printout on the wall for the tribute store, and it says, these people are banned, and here's the reason they're banned. I mean, it's legitimate, like, they stole a movie. They didn't pay their fees. I wonder what the names are correlated to, though.
Is there any notable names, or is it just a bunch of...
It's a first name, last initial. I didn't pick any name out there that I noticed.
Okay. All right.
I did see that there is a picture of a young Bill, what was it? Bill Davis was our previous Universal president.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there's a young picture of Bill Davis in the video store. Kind of neat.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, took a little bit more than I expected, but that's fine. We had some good stories and some good insight. Let's jump into Halloween Horror Nights 33 2024 Universal Orlando. We've had a slew of announcements in the past week. Dave, you want to start talking about them and give a bit of background on what's been happening, how this is a kind of unprecedented announcement timeline and what's happening?
So, when Bill and I had first started attending Halloween Horror Nights, you didn't get house announcements all through the spring, all through the summer. You got teasers and a special website where you could play games and go online and, try and kind of guess where the games were getting at, where the houses were going, kind of what was coming. But you never got any announcements. After they would do a midnight reveal, usually a month before the event or so, and everybody would sit on their computers till midnight, just clicking refresh right there at midnight. I think we crashed the website actually a couple times, and
several years.
They would do, a lot of times they'd do an awesome, reveal video where they would sit there and list off the houses on a video, and they made it special instead of just putting, oh, yep, they're on the website now, or oh, yep, they're on Facebook now. There was a build up to it. That stopped around 2012 when The Walking Dead came, when what people like to call the IP era, not original IP era, but the IP era. Once Walking Dead came, that's when they started releasing stuff earlier and earlier. And the last few years, we start getting announcements in April. I will say the one caveat to that was in 2010, they did a scare zone the final 2 nights of the event, with the old Horror Night icon. Or in 2009, they did a scare zone in Sting Alley with the old icons, hinting that, hey, next year's going to be an anniversary year, 20 Years of Fear with the icons. They didn't say 20 Years of Fear, but it was a hint to what was coming. And occasionally we do get the announcement at the end of the event. In 2014, we got an announcement that Jack was coming back on the final night, for 2015. 2 years ago, we got the announcement that Chucky was coming, but it seems like they went and just retconned that whole announcement and pretended like they never said it, because then they came back later in the summer and announced the Chucky house. But it's very unusual for them to be giving us announcement after announcement after announcement after announcement. Usually it's, every couple weeks we get an announcement the last few years. And then something's happened lately where they're like, and usually, it's a mixture of IPs and original when we get our early announcements. And this year, there's been no IP announcements. It's all originals, just boom, boom, boom in a week.
Right,
which
your
is
first
very
one is
unprecedented.
Typically going to be a big IP to draw the eyes, draw the crowds, book your tickets.
Draw the eyes. But that being said, the IPs, contractually, their announcements have to be on a certain timeline.
Right.
So something might be going on behind the scenes, obviously. Everything's on a timeline when it comes to Horror Nights announcements. Everything's on a timeline. They can't just be like, I feel like giving an announcement today. Everything's on a timeline. But it's very unprecedented for us to get all of these house announcements back-to-back days. And I would presume we're getting another one tomorrow for our final original house.
Yep. So, which is at 6 originals and rumored alleged 4 IPs for Universal Orlando Halloween Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm. So, if you want to talk about what house we got announced first.
Yeah, we'll start from the top. I want to add on to your great explanation that you can infer, and again, we really only speculate and talk about rumors as far as Horror Nights concerned, as it's a big deal and it's something that we actively participate in, Dave and I. In that first spec map, and we talked about a couple episodes ago, Nightmare on Elm Street was highly rumored, and now it's nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. IP fell through, never had the IP. It was maybe a pie in the sky long shot that they wanted. We haven't had Nightmare on Elm Street in a while. Not since
the last time we had Nightmare on Elm
07,
Street
right?
2015 we had Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh,
so
okay, yes, that's true,
more or less. But 2007 Dreamwalkers was the last.
God, what an awesome! It was so good. That house was so fucking good.
So
we don't have that. I mean, Harold and Kumar are no longer there. They may or may not have secured the rights, could use it. They didn't find a good venue or outlet. And with the originals being announced first and knocking them all out in one fell swoop, I'm not sure what to make of it if they're not confident in the IPs. And we'll talk about what the rumored IPs are to be here after we go through the announced lineup. I'm not sure if they're worried or they don't want to spend the money on IPs, considering Epic's opening up. They just did DreamWorks Land. They're going to start. They got these 2 big new investments with the drone show and the parade. Brandon and I noticed today that they're doing a full building construction, not a big building, but still, cinder block is being placed for a building structure across from the Starbucks in Universal Studios Orlando. There's a lot of investments floating around. I'm not sure if they wanted to throw their weight at IPs, which IPs, the IP house, I believe it's like, now, what I've been told, it can be like $1 million for the IP rights, the building, and everything that comes with it. And the marketing that's required in the merchandise and so on. Where we're at.
It just depends on the contract. I mean, some IPs are going to give you more creative liberty than other IPs. Some IPs, they force you to do certain things. They force you to market a certain way. They won't allow you to put their IP on a t-shirt with another IP. For example, we were close to seeing Freddie and Jason in the 2007 timeframe together, but they wouldn't allow them to be seen in rooms together. It wasn't until 2015 when we got Freddie versus Jason that we were able to see them in the house together, but they were going to have cameos in each other's houses, but they did not allow that. The IPs didn't. Again, Walking Dead didn't allow face characters had they not already been turned into walkers. So there's a whole, but then you go to Poltergeist in 2018, they got a lot of creative liberty with it. They were allowed to expand on the paranormal dimension and kind of create their own little story to go along with the house toward the end of that house. So some houses, they have creative liberty. Some houses, they don't. Those contracts are all different in every sort of way. The marketing has to be different. It's all up to those IP holders.
Correct. On to the house announcements. As we touched on last week's episode, we had breaking news that happened during recording. They announced at
Spooky Empire.
Thank you. I'm like, no, Spookala?
There's so
Spooky
many
Cons? No.
so many of those haunt cons nowadays.
Spooky Empire, a local, well, they also have a version in Georgia or Canada, though born in Florida, a Halloween spooky horror convention. They've gone really big in the past few years, and now they garner attention from Universal Creative, and they'll come make announcements, I guess, which is wild. And I was reading that this was a last-minute thing, that they weren't going to announce anything and decided, like the day of or a couple days before, all right, guess we have to give them something.
Usually they don't make announcements during Spooky Empire.
No.
They have not in the past.
No, it's typically a inside look on how a haunt's created, and a small Q&A portion, which is overrun by rabid fans asking dumb shit questions. Wall of shame-worthy questions.
Yes, for sure.
During that particular event, they announced Slaughter Cinema 2. We talked about that a little bit. This is a sequel house to Slaughter Cinema, which is an original house. It was located in one of these sprung tents, which is a permanent hurricane-proof tent located behind Simpsons and Men in Black. The first one was in 2018, and we put Dave's metal to the test, and he tried to name all the different rooms in it and different actors and scary pieces. I think he got 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I missed a couple. I missed the barbershop, the Kreitz, midnight snack.
Yes.
I can't remember what else I missed, but I know I missed those two. So
the foul fist of Dr. Faustus.
Oh yes,
the Fu Manchu
Asian guy at the beginning.
Yeah,
yes.
Fu Manchu. Yeah.
I said the Asian guy. I just didn't call it what it was.
This is it's you're walking into the Cary Drive-In and you're going through the movies of all these B-roll, and they had 10 different films presented in Slaughter Cinema 1. They announced Slaughter Cinema 2. It's going to be, I imagine, more of the same. The first one was 2018. 2024, we get the second iteration in the Sprung Tent, also going to be in Sprung 2. If you're looking at your spec mapping playing at home, it's in the same exact tent as the first Slaughter Cinema. It's the northernmost one.
These anthology houses at Horror Nights really tickle my pickle. I do love the anthology houses.
Well, you get a bit more, you get an expansion. They can really make those individual scenes really kill. And, depending on the size of the location, a house is anywhere between 8 to 12, maybe 13, 14 scenes.
And a storyline is great when it comes to going through a Horror Nights house. But when you can go through an anthology, sometimes it makes the house seem bigger because when they're telling a story, you kind of see, okay, we've reached the catalyst, we've reached the climax, this house is almost over. But when they're doing those anthology houses, you're like, oh, wow, something else. Oh, wow, another room. Oh, wow, what's this? It's like, it's you don't know what to expect. So.
Exactly. And there's a number of things you can utilize. Again, it's similar to your all-night die-ins featuring the director, ripped from the silver screen, the silver screams, super good house. And they had one of my favorite experiences, which was The Strangers. They had The Strangers movie from 07 or 08 in one of the scenes, and it was the living room, and you had the dad and the two girls coming out of nowhere out of darkness, just like the film.
Mm-hmm.
Also got to see The Thing in Silver Screams. One of the greatest icon houses, I will say. Super good. Slaughter Cinema 2
okay.
to be... Go ahead.
So, there's a little trivia question for you. You had The Thing in there. You had The Thing Assimilation. You had The Thing prequel house in 2011.
Yes.
And since then, what is the only other house we've seen The Thing in? It's trivia question, trick question.
Oh, man. What other house have I seen The Thing in?
Since
2011?
Since 2011, The Thing has been in one more house. What was it in?
Your mom's.
Correct. No, it was actually in
recall.
The original Halloween maze.
Oh.
It was on the television.
On the television.
Going through the living room.
Were they playing the 82 one or the original 50s?
I believe it was the original 50s one. If I'm not mistaken, it was just the intro that you saw.
Yeah, in the 79
TV.
In the 78 movie,
they're watching the 50s.
Yes.
Yeah, they're watching the 50s one.
Bomb. Oh, good shit.
Yep.
I should have known that. Stupid me.
Yeah. Your mom.
Slaughter Cinema 2. If you're dying for a B-movie horror marathon, head to the Cary Drive-In. This thing's still going, I guess. Screen through scenes from creature features, grindhouse gore, spaghetti westerns, and more. And Dave did tell me before the show, during the Spooky Empire reveal, they did reveal one of the characters who will be featured in one of the B-movies, probably one of 10 again. They'll do 10 scenes. This is the heavy metal skeleton character from the B-movie featured in the haunted, from one of the B-movies featured in the haunted house called Heavy Metal Hell 3D. And I guess there's a tagline for this already. Heavy Metal Hell 3D, all hell's breaking loose. And they're not. It's not going to be a 3D house either. It's not going to be 3D glasses. We haven't seen that since Lunatic's Playground in 2016,
which was a flop.
I liked that house. I'm a Lunatic's apologist. Maybe I just like Chance. I like Chance.
I don't know. It's the problem is that the in between in 2011 was such a great haunted house, and that was one of the first 3D houses they had done in years, and the last 3 3D houses they've done after 3 or 4 3D houses they've done after that, it was repeat characters and repeat effects. And
Alice in Wonderland was not terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but they just, none of them touched the in-between. The in-between was such a fantastic house.
Never to return.
I mean, I don't know. A lot of people are begging for a 3D house to come back. I don't mind them, but
they don't want to spend the budget on doing those things. They don't want to buy the glasses. More people fall down to those things. More people throw up in the houses because of it.
Yeah, for those that are unaware, they use a thing called Chroma Depth 3D, and what that does is it takes the different ends of the color spectrum, like red and blues, makes one seem further away and one seem closer. They give you these paper/cardboard glasses that you can keep, and
with the lenses in them. They're not the red and blue like the old school 3D, not Jaws 3D here.
No, they're cheap little 3D glasses, and that you can keep or throw away at the end. You know, I used to keep a pair whenever I walk through, but they ended up just being crumpled up in my backpack at the end of the day. You know,
well, by the end of the use of them, they weren't even themed anymore. They're just black.
Yeah, they back in the day they had, like with Jack's 3D Funhouse, they had a clown design on the glasses, and then and in the end they just said Halloween Horror Nights 22 or 20. You know,
I thought the last one was just black, had nothing on it.
That may have been.
I'm pretty sure I got a pair of the Jack ones in my Horror Nights closet over here.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's cool.
Might have to dig that out. Take photos of everything and post that around Horror Nights time. So that was our first one, Slaughter Cinema 2. I'm excited. I look forward to it. I enjoy, like Dave, the anthology houses have a bunch of different scenes. If one scene doesn't quite tickle you, there is probably a couple others that will. Like Shitty's Kids and Midnight Snack 2, Barber Chop. Those were some of my favorites from Slaughter Cinema 1. I really didn't care about Devil Dogs. I felt like I've seen it already in American Werewolf in London, Pumpkin Guts. Yeah. I look back on it now not liking it because we got the Pumpkin Lord and I don't want any more of that guy or Little Boo.
Yeah, the Swamp Yeti, those things, they got me every time. It was almost a man is bush type house, ghillie suits. You couldn't see them coming, but when they got up on you, they were massive. So it was a good room. It wasn't overlit, so it was dark and scary. So I do remember that final scene being a good scene because there were a couple in there and you never knew where they were coming from.
Yep.
So,
and then unfortunately they then overplayed the Swamp Yeti Bigfoot thing and kept just fucking pushing it. Not that they made bad houses with that particular character. I just don't want it. I've had enough.
I love Bigfoot and I love the Yeti and I love all that kind of mythology, but yeah, you push it a little too far.
Next up, a second original announced. This was on Monday, the 20th, Goblin's Feast. Of course, an original. It looks like a tavern sign that says Goblin's Feast, and then two goblin hands holding the side of it like the goatsy of a man expanding his butt.
For me,
I don't know about this one.
This is giving mixture of Spirits of the Coven, Tooth Fairy,
Scary Tales,
and Dragon Challenge vibe. Yeah, Scary Tales, Dragon Challenge. It's giving me that woodland creature,
Wicked Growth.
You know, I hated Dueling Dragons, and that's
awful.
Kind of what the vibe this is giving.
And there was goblins and little gnomes in that. We're going to be reusing costumes. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. And I will say it could turn out to be a great house. And is this going to be located in a soundstage? Or
this will be in Sprung 10-3. This is one of the new Sprungs they've built this year. And that will be closer to the backside of the MIB building. We're going to be doing a lot of fucking walking this year. You and I, Dave, and all our listeners who go to Hard Nights. A lot of walking this year.
Now, I will say, Sprung tents happen. They do surprise me from time to time. If you look at, just this last year, The Darkest Deal was probably one of my least anticipated houses, but it surprised me. So we'll see. We'll see if this flips the switch on it.
Oh yeah,
but
there's nothing wrong
right now
with the Sprung tents. They do great stuff in there. Descendants of Destruction. Oh my god.
Yeah. As of right now, this is probably one of my least anticipated houses
of announced.
Unless the house we talked about pre-show gets announced tomorrow, then that's by far my least anticipated house. So,
well, we'll get to that one. The description for this: welcome to the Goblin's Feast Tavern and visit the Goblin Village, where a lavish feast is being prepared for goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, and witches, and you're the main course. Nothing really new being done here. We've seen this trope before many, many times, or yep, you're going through it, then, oh wait, you're the main course, you're the one to be eaten, can you get out? And goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, witches, I mean, we've had witches many, many times. We've had, goblin houses and goblin scare zones or something of that sort with these mythical fantasy creatures. Since at least I've been going, when they had Horror Nights and Islands of Adventure, 2002, they had the whole goblin area in Lost Continent.
Yeah, this one's not really.
I'm not feeling it.
Buttons.
No. And goblin adjacent, when you do something like Hades and they have those mythical creatures, and you're gonna be in forest, you're gonna go through a little town, you're gonna hit the tavern, and the finale, maybe you're walking through a giant cauldron. We'll see.
Yeah, it's not giving me much to the imagination.
Right.
So.
Could be pleasantly surprised. It's in the brand new sprung tent. It's a long fucking walk. We'll see how much I'm going to be wanting to do that lab.
Yeah.
All right. Next, announced on May 21st, Tuesday, we have Major Sweets Candy Factory. Oh God. I don't know.
It's not completely turning me off. I love the aesthetic of the scare zone.
Yes,
but
let's mention.
Not a fan of the scary version of the scare zone.
This is right. Well, you want to talk about the scare zone? That was in 2002. It was a scare zone in New York.
So it was a scare zone in New York. Major Sweets was the candy maker in the city, and all of his candy was turning all the children and townspeople crazy. In the scare zone, Major Sweets was being handed the key to the city from the mayor, because he was doing such great things for the community, but it ended up turning everybody wicked and evil. They used a lot of the old 1950s Halloween aesthetic. They had beautiful parade floats. For this scare zone that sat out in the middle. But a lot of your creature design and concept was old 1950s paper mache costumes type look, and it just wasn't very scary. It was just more of a fun Halloween 1950s visual, But wasn't scary.
Yep, set in 1954, Major Sweets is the evil candy maker, as mentioned, and he turned on all these kids stupid. Too much candy. I mean, that's the short of the long.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Beautiful scare zone. Great aesthetic. Beautiful sets. Fun storyline. Just not very scary.
It's a victim of the area they put it in. New York, while huge, gets so busy and congested because you have 6 of the houses up there, or 5 of the houses up there, plus the tribute store, Mummy, and Finnegan's. It gets fucking buku crazy. And then you crowd up the streets with really cool floats, and then the actors get limited, and you have so many actors out there as you're utilizing forecasts. It just becomes challenging, and if I'm designing it, I don't maybe want to put sometimes as much work into a super congested zone as far as the costumes are concerned. They were using this the zone, the trick-or-treater aspect, to tie into the overall theme of a traditional Halloween, since it was the 31st one.
Now, I could see this house being saved if they go the extreme gory route, but I don't see that happening because that's the thing of Horror Nights past.
Right.
But if they went the extreme gory route and had these kids just mutilating people, then, I mean, it could be a cool house to walk through. But I have a feeling that it's going to be more of the kids in the paper mache masks, like from Trick or Treat, popping out at you,
Yes. This Major Sweets Candy Factory is a prequel to the scare zone.
Okay.
The description here, you've been invited to chaperone a field trip to a candy factory. The deadly delicious treats turn the kids into sugar-fueled fiends.
So a mixture of Shitty's Kids and
Sweet revenge.
Sweet Revenge. Yeah.
You'll,
It's not low on my list. It's not high on my list.
no,
It's,
probably middle of the pack at the moment
probably middle of the pack
of what's been
Yeah.
talked about, right?
Plus, if the spec map holds true, it's going to be located in the Fast and Furious queue, and
I think that plays well to it.
I think it does. I think it does as well. It's like you're entering a factory, but at
Yep.
the same time, those houses have not been very popular the last few years, and I don't know if it's house layout, if it's but we kind of learned that curse can be broken, because for years people were not a fan of the MIB tent, right between Fear Factor Live and Men in Black, until House of a Thousand Corpses showed
Yeah.
up and won
Kicked
House
ass.
of the Year. So I mean, it's not necessarily the house location, but this location has a curse going for it right now for sure. So
Well, the Black Phone portion of Blumhouse was good. If
It
they
was
let
good.
Chuck say fuck, it might have been good.
we had fun in Chucky, but that was more because of our experiences.
Yeah,
together.
that house was
Yeah.
bad. One of the worst
Yeah.
in a long time.
Yep.
Of course, we'll be seeing Major Sweets and Miss Treats inside the factory. So far, we have a drive-in, a goblin village, and a candy factory. There was someone making a joke, and I relayed this to Brennan. Maybe the icon of the year is a field trip person or a bus driver just taking you to all these really terrible places. Oh God, the bus driver, he's coming to get you.
Oh God.
And you know what? That might play into it. We're going on a school field trip to all these places, and the next one, announced on May 22nd, Wednesday, the museum. The museum, Deadly Exhibits.
So this one right here is probably on the top of my list as it stands. What if not one, then it's two. As it stands so far.
Yeah.
I feel like this house could be really cool.
Right, the description here. You decide to visit the new folklore museum exhibit, The Rotting Stone, when an evil escapes from within, destroying everything in its path. And I'm assuming, of course, possessing and making shit go absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rotting Stone, of course, is a play on the Rosetta Stone, which was the old tablet to help decipher and translate old languages.
Mm-hmm.
This will be in Sprung Tent 1.
This house, they have a good opportunity to take a lot of different concepts and mash them into one thing. You've got, you could have Egyptian concepts. You're going to have
Right.
Roman mythology, Greek mythology. You've got a chance to take all those concepts and mush them into kind of an anthology house. And I think it could be well done if it's done right. So,
Right, and we're still... This plays into the icon that was utilized for the spec map. It showed a hieroglyphic. Which god was that?
Ra,
Ra.
the sun god.
Sun god of Egypt, Ra. Now, it's not going to be a lot of Egyptian or all Egyptian. There's going to be definitely an Egyptian influence, which the last time we saw something like that, from what I can recall, is the Tomb of the Ancients house, which was fucking great. Super
Tomb
good.
of the Ancients was great.
Yeah.
It was all right. I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but it was an enjoyable house. It was a forgettable
I really
house
dug
for
that
me.
one.
The last kind of house kind of like that was Monsters Collide with
Oh, sure, the mummy.
with the Mummy. That was the most beautiful portion of a house I've seen in years.
The giant, like you're walking into the pyramid.
Mm-hmm. And the smells in there were great. They were nasty. It was great.
The smells.
That was a great house. Mr. Hyde scared the shit out of me every time I went through. So
Absolutely. Totally agree. I'm looking forward to the museum deadly exhibits plays into the headcanon that we have a really mean bus driver taking us to terrible places. Kind of neat.
I agree.
And then our newest one that came out today, May 23rd, Thursday, Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America.
And I'll let you touch on this one because you have, in fact, been in something very similar to this.
Yep.
Last year.
This house will be based off of the Hollywood version of this haunted house that came about during the 2023 Horror Nights season. And it was so good. Probably my favorite one of the Hollywood originals. Pretty scary. Lots of blood. That's more in line with the Hollywood versions, where they really enjoy the gore and the blood. This, and I'm reading now, that Monstros won the House of the Year over at Hollywood, which is really cool. This one was not in a soundstage or a tent. This is in the Parisian Courtyard, which is an alleyway set between a couple buildings, and they built this excellent haunted house inside of it. And they had some good smells, and they had, hopefully not a spoiler for the house coming for this year for us in Orlando, they had this giant puppet at the end that was dripping in mucus and blood, and it looked fucking gnarly. As the name implies, Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America, cover some real legends that people in Latin America see as terrifying creatures. And to read the description, with La Muerte as your guide, you'll be begging for a piedad from these three terrifying legends: Talopuchi, La Lechuza, and El Sobon.
El Sabon.
El Sobon. This will be in Soundstage 23, and this thing's gonna fucking slap.
So I can think of at least 4 other houses that went to Hollywood first. This is the 4th one that I can think of that came from Hollywood. We had Alice Cooper, which started in Hollywood, which came over and was a great house in Orlando.
Yep.
We had La Llorona, which started in Hollywood, then came over in Orlando. Also a great house.
Oh, I
loved both those. I loved Cooper.
Well,
really loved Cooper.
Cooper was good.
I just loved Cooper. Even had I not had my specific reasons, I loved Cooper anyway. La Llorona, this one, and then House of a Thousand Corpses, which I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast, but House of a Thousand Corpses was in Hollywood in 2000. The movie came out in 2003. That movie was actually made after Hollywood asked Zombie to make a haunted house for Halloween Horror Nights when he was just a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And he made that haunted house, and it was so good they were going to give him a movie deal. And then the Universal execs saw the movie at a pre-screening and said, we're going to need to see you in the office. And they cut ties with the movie. That's why it was not released by Universal.
Oh,
it's a fun fact for you.
Damn, so that is good.
He was asked to do a house in 2000, and then in 2003 that movie came out, but was not released by Universal because the execs saw the pre-screening and said, "What the fuck was that?" So, and I'm sure
his best
cuts
movie
were made after that as well. So,
some of these creatures they're going to hold on. Sorry, let me go back real quick. The houses that go between the two parks, they're usually pretty different from each other.
Mm-hmm.
The Alice Cooper one, they were based on different albums, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the same album?
Correct. I believe their Alice Cooper house may have been 3D as well.
Yes, there was a 3D, and they had a bit different interpretation of "Welcome to My Name." Their concept album.
Their A Thousand Corpses house. They did a couple different iterations. One year was completely 3D. The other years they focused more on Sid Haig, his Dark Ride.
Spaulding.
They focused more on Captain Spaulding's Dark Ride.
Yes, and
it was more of the fake, Dr. Satan, the Dark Ride portion of the attraction, and then our Thousand Corpses was strictly like mostly just the Firefly house,
Yep.
So I mean, their La Llorona was a lot similar, but it was pretty different. It was a good chunk different than ours.
Right.
So, I mean, just because you've been in one doesn't mean you've been in both. So,
Yep. And I say that if you've been to the house last year in Hollywood, this is probably be starkly different, especially considering they're going from, again, a courtyard that has, for the lack of, for the sake of clarity, some big easy ups popped up into a full-fledged soundstage.
mm-hmm.
You're going to have that full difference. And then to jump into the monsters, if you're not familiar with some of the legends and tales from Latin America, Talupicha is a vampire witch. Fucking spooky, big vampire witch bird thing. Has like bird talons, a big bird beak, but it's also a vampire and it's also a witch.
Mm-hmm.
And these things come back as far as the Aztec times. La Lechuza is an owl witch. More owl-like features, owl claws, and it may have vampiric habits, and it has the ability to turn into a humanoid with barn owl features.
Feasts on children, I believe.
Yes, they can. It does feast on children. They are around Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, and they will give her predilection for young men's blood and flesh, stealing babies from the arms of their mothers. The La Lechuza can kill babies silently by using some kind of magic thread that she made pass through cracks on the roofs and ceilings. And she made sure the tip of the thread was touching her victim's head or belly button and then extracted the blood from there. Good Lord. Let me go back to the Talupicha. What does this thing do? Oh, and yes, the La Lechuza can disguise and mimic her voice as an infant to lure the victims in and kill them. So, some of the things you may be hearing there. Let's see. Talupicha could be anybody. And the comment of the Talupicha is that anyone could be it, and they would not know until they reach puberty. So you would have this inside you and not know you're going to explode into a disgusting, crazy animal. Vampire witch. Until it's time.
Imagine these kids before puberty being terrified.
My God.
I was scared after watching the 13th year of that Disney movie that I was
I'm a merman. I'm a merman.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm 13 going on 30. I'm going to turn into an old 80. The Talupicha can transform into a series of animals. The most common is a turkey vulture, which is what I described to you a little bit. It would fly to a house of its victim and suck the blood of its victims, but not like any other ordinary vampire, which I don't know what exactly that means. Then you have the El Cibon, which is known as the Whistler, a legendary figure in Colombia and Venezuela. The Whisperer was at the tale of it. There was a teenage boy living on a farm very far off that had fallen in love with a woman and that his father did not approve. As much as the boy's father beckoned to him to not see the girl, the boy did not listen and continued until one day the father catches his son and the girl in his barn. He flies into a rage and kills the girl in front of his son. The son, in rage, lashes and kills his father to avenge his lover's death. The grandfather of the boy comes home and sees what has happened, takes the boy out to the field and ties him to a post. The grandfather whips him. This is the story of Pootie Tang. What the fuck? The grandfather takes the boy out to the post and whips him till the flesh falls off his back, then proceeds to pour limes and tequila on the boy's wounds.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Oh, man. And then when the worst was already done, the grandfather sends the dogs to tear the boy apart. As the boy stumbles into the woods, mutilated after his punishment, the grandfather hands him a sack of his father's bones and says that he is condemned for all time to carry the bones of his murdered father on his back. And the boy then proceeds into the woods, never to be seen again. Eventually, he came out of the woods as the creature known as El Cibon, the Whisperer, which some say is a towering creature, 10, maybe 12 feet tall, who's skinny and who continues to carry the bones of his father on his back and is known for his distinctive whistle. If people hear this whistle and it sounds far away, it means he is close to the person. But if he whistles and it sounds very close, it means he is far away. This guy sounds fucking rad.
Yeah.
This guy is cool. Very much looking forward to seeing El Sabone once again.
It's going to be a fun house.
And then finally, La Muerte. Muerte is the caretaker and gravedigger of the Cemetery of the Lost. And he is the humble narrator who takes us through the journey through the history of the Latin monsters and is the localized Latin American take on the Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper, rather.
Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper.
Smells bad.
The Grim Streaker.
Ruh-roh.
So you'll have those 4 creatures, La Muerte, accompanying you throughout. Inside Monstros, the monsters of Latin America. And that is going to be in, again, Soundstage 23. This is going to be the first house on your left when you enter the park, Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's what we got so far, Dave. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about what we got so far. We have one more original announcement coming out on Friday, May 24th. No one seems to know what it is. And the icon on the sprung tent that it should be going into is a house. And it's divided black and white. Black on one side, white on one side.
Yeah, I don't think we had much for that. So
No, and even the thing I showed you doesn't make sense with the image.
no, it does not.
Nope.
So we'll see. We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. We'll be posting about it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then for those final 4, we have 4 IPs, 4 houses left. Soundstage 22, we know that's going to be the classic monsters. Focus on Bride of Frankenstein. Soundstage 23B, Ghostbusters. 24A, probably A Quiet Place still.
I hope not.
Yeah. And then the other IP is probably going to be Insidious.
Probably.
Stanky.
Which I think they've announced that they're doing another movie too. So
Oh, thank God. Thank God. I've only watched I watched the first 4.
I've seen them all.
Seen them all but the Red Door.
The Red Door wasn't bad, but I mean, it wasn't good. It was fun because it touched back on the first one.
Well, it was the first sequel. The rest were prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Ugh.
So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Scare zones, we probably won't see those until August or maybe July.
Yeah. Those come later.
We know the show. We know Death Eaters are there. There's probably no Lagoon show. They're getting the daytime one up and running.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
real quick, you want to rank what houses you are least to most excited about that have been announced?
Yeah, let's go. Most excited, I'm going to go with the museum.
Mm-hmm.
Second is Monstros.
Yep.
Third would be it's hard. It's
hard.
I think third would be Mr. Sweets.
Major Sweets Candy Factory.
Major Sweets. And then fourth would be there's 2 more, right?
Yes, Slaughter Cinema, then Goblin Feast, right?
Oh no, take that back. Slaughter Cinema is going to be Slaughter Cinema's 1.
Oh wow, big change. The one you forgot about jumps to the top.
Yep. Slaughter Cinema's 1, just because the original house was so good.
Sure.
2 is Museum. 3 is Monstros. 4 is Major Sweets, and 5 is Goblin Jizz.
Goblins, butt fuck. Yeah, mine's not too far off. Museum, Deli Exhibits, Slaughter Cinema 2, Monstros, Major Sweets, Goblin Feast.
Oh, so just switch our 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
Well, no, what did I have? A museum. Yeah.
Yeah, Museum, then Slaughter. I had Slaughter.
Yeah, Monstros is only third because I've seen an iteration of it, and I kind of have an idea what's happening. Not that it's going to be, again, 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the walkthrough. So, but our hype lists are usually pretty similar. So
Yeah. Alrighty. You want to jump into the Hollywood spec map on the version
Yes.
2 since we never got to it.
yeah, let's knock that out real quick. So version 2 of the Hollywood spec map, when you walk into the park and you take a left, I think this is the Parisian Courtyard, if I'm not mistaken.
Your map
actually,
doesn't say it?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's before the Parisian
The
Courtyard. I'm
Ube
sorry.
venue.
Yeah.
This is where
Ube
the
venue.
old permanent haunted house area was.
This was the icon for Ghostbusters, but it has since changed to the sound symbol with the slash mark.
The rumored Quiet Place house.
Rumored Quiet Place, which was in the Mummy queue.
Yes.
Going up, you go to the Parisian Courtyard,
Where Monstrose was last year.
where Monstrose was last year, and the symbol this year is South America, like our Monstrose was.
Yep.
So
Past 2
I'm
years in
assuming
Hollywood
Monstrose will be
have been Latin American, South American inspired houses.
Yeah.
So they're
I'm
going to keep
assuming
doing
it's
that.
going to be the same house. Before it was a flower was the icon, but now it is a South America with a flower on
Yep.
it. So
It's not going to be Monstrose. It's going to be something else.
their next up house in the Mummy queue is now a building, looks like an airline hangar or a soundstage, kind of on fire.
With a biohazard symbol on it.
Yes. This was the Quiet Place rumored house, but it is now a non-IP house.
This, what I've been reading today, is likely going to be Dead Exposure.
Really?
In Hollywood, yes. Which we've had 2 of those here. We had an 08, which was one of my favorite houses of all time. There was a small scene in the 2010
Hallowed Past
house, yes. And then
But it didn't do it justice because there was ambient light and
yes,
stuff
correct.
like that. So.
Yep. And then there was the Dead Exposure Patient Zero prequel house, which 2016? 2018? I can't remember the year for that one.
No, the Dead Exposure prequel house was 2019, I believe. It was later on.
Let me take a look. You keep going on the map. Or talking about Dead Exposure.
Dead Exposure. So the original house, you were a photographer named Charlie McPherson, and you were a photographer during the zombie apocalypse. And what it was a black light house, and every time the lights would strobe, it was you were taking a picture. You were taking a picture of the undead, so it'd get pitch black. The lights would strobe, and boom, there's a zombie in your face.
And you hear the
so it was
basically the sound
Of the
effect
camera.
from Texas Chainsaw. Yep.
What year was it?
2018.
Was it 18? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I was off.
Super
Right.
good. Patient Zero, not as good as the original. 2008.
No.
One of my favorite houses of all time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
super
moving
good.
forward to Soundstage 15, this was an unknown IP, and now it's got what looks like a CD next to a pair of glasses with diamonds in the glasses or lights.
Weekend.
If I had to guess, this is another Weekend haunted house.
They're getting the Weekend.
And I just noticed that was a CD, and the first thing I thought when I saw the glasses was the Weekend.
Yep.
Blinding lights. You know,
We had the Weekend last
they're
year.
his. Mhm.
No, sorry,
And
2 years ago.
So did 2 years ago. So did they.
My God.
So they also had the Weekend, but that's the frames are exactly the Weekend frames.
Mhm.
So continuing on, what used to be the Dracula skull in Soundstage 22 is now the Ghostbusters emblem.
Yep.
So
the Cadillac
the Ghostbusters
logo.
house has moved into a soundstage instead of the Ube venue. Going down to the T-pad was a grub. So we figured a bug's house, but it has changed into a pig. But it also says IP. So Only thing I can think of is Texas Chainsaw or Saw.
Texas Chainsaw based on the construction photos.
Okay.
Looks like they're building the Sawyer meat factory.
Oh, okay.
For the facade.
Okay.
Yep.
Moving on, Terror Tram was just a picture of the tram, but now it's an IP and it is the Blumhouse logo.
We're not getting the Exterminators again.
Nope.
Damn.
I'm surprised. Usually they do their Terror Trams. Sometimes they double those up.
Yep.
Going down to H lot 2. So this is the Curious George parking lot. You can see it from the Curious George's garage. It was an IP with a blood with a knife, but has since changed to a lantern, which screams Insidious to me.
Same lantern as we have on the Orlando side.
Same lantern as we have. So it screams Insidious.
Yeah, bummer.
Mm-hmm. Moving down to Tent 1, on the same lot, you have the Bride of Frankenstein hair with the stick figure, or as Bill likes to call it, the female symbol.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course, the more known one, not because the stick figure doesn't have legs.
Yeah. Well, did you know at the Jaws bathroom the stick figure's missing one leg because it was attacked by a shark?
Oh fuck! I gotta go right now and check that out.
Just make sure you tell producer Brennan.
I'll let her know. We'll have to look for that next time and send it to you.
Okay. So this is rumored to be a female version of the classic monsters.
Yep. Just like ours. Yep. Just like ours.
Going on, they have a Death Eaters.
Yep. Similar to us.
Symbol. They've got 2 shows. One, none at the Waterworld venue.
Waterworld venue. It's going to be the same show as last year, which was Kick-Ass. Not the movie. It was Kick-Ass. It's going to be a Purge show.
What symbol is that?
That's the Purge.
Yeah, but which symbol on the map? I can't tell what I'm...
Oh, the Waterworld symbol. The Waterworld Theater, it's a medic sign with the plus with a line through it, meaning no medical services.
Which is an IP. Okay. So,
it's Purge.
So, Purge World. And then they have another show, which is
the DreamWorks Theater.
DreamWorks Theater. It's a globe with it's an IP. It's probably going to be something similar to what Blumhouse was last year. Some sort of.
I would wager it's going to be the monsters, the horrors of Universal, since it's a globe.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yep.
But less of a show, more of a walkthrough experience, I think. If you
sit down and they play a trailer and then they have some scare actors in there. At least that's what it was for Blumhouse.
Mm-hmm.
In the pre-show, they had a little bit of pre-show, and then they had the costumes from Five Nights at Freddy's in there.
Yeah.
3 unknown scare zones. Something else I've been seeing here, Dave. I don't know if you've been seeing this. With Hollywood getting another weekend house, there's been some talk about Orlando getting a weekend scare zone.
I've seen that as well.
I could do without it. People are just going to sit there all night and clog
they're going
it
to sit
the
there
fuck
and dance
up.
and sing. Yeah.
Get me out of here.
You know, the weekend was not as bad of a house as I thought it was going to be. The music was fun. It was entertaining, but the people in line for that were jamming out. It was like, yeah. It's going to be one of those where it's like everybody's just going to be there for photo ops and filming their TikToks. It's going to be overcrowded. So
Hollywood lineup from what we're talking about, I'm only slightly upset I'm not getting out there to see their take on Dead Exposure, really.
Yeah, that would be a nice one to go to.
Everything else we're getting about the same. It's always good to see Texas Chainsaw represented.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
I was one of the few that actually enjoyed the last time we got a soundstage of it, so.
Yeah, I really dug the Disaster Queue version.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
I was not a huge fan of the Sprung Tent version. A lot of people liked it. I was not a huge fan of it.
No.
I liked the fact which the Disaster Queue was more based on the remake, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. I don't know.
I can't remember. It was Flesh Wounds was the name of the house. But
oh yeah, good name.
I remember that the entrance seemed more like the remake, but I'm not 100% sure. The soundstage one a couple years ago was great because they incorporated, Chop Top and,
The greater family.
Third movie,
Yeah.
It was a better version when the tent house was just scene by scene of the first movie. So,
Which also has its place. Great. With that sliding door from the basement.
Yes.
Comes running out. Oh, man. Well, Hollywood, middling, Orlando, potential's there. If these originals pop off, I think we're in a good time. Next week, we'll talk about tomorrow's announcement and anything else that might pop up in the meantime. And going forward, June, we're going to be gearing up for another epic announcement coming up. And some really good stuff as we move along. Tiana's opens up soon. The summer spectacular offerings start up soon with the nighttime drone show, the Hogwarts Always, Lagoon show at Universal, and then the parade in July. Things are popping, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was good to talk some Horror Nights. Do you have
for sure?
You want to do a quick Easter egg? And do you have an Easter egg real quick?
Well, I mean,
we have the voicemail, yeah.
Voicemail?
Yeah, we'll close that. We'll close with that in case it's mean towards you and you can get out of here.
All right, fine. So my quick Easter egg, I do have a quick Easter egg and a quick wall of shame.
Me too.
Quick Easter egg is the when you're walking through Marvel Superhero Island, right across from the Spider-Man attraction, there's these bright yellow things sticking up out of the ground. And that is actually from an asteroid impact that brought all the superheroes here to Marvel Superhero Island. They were all on an asteroid. It impacted, and that's how they all got here. So on those giant yellow spires, you can see depictions of some of the characters that aren't actually found in the land in other places.
Whoa. Is that detailed in the official comic book?
I don't know. I do know that when I worked there, I was told about that's how all the superheroes arrived there. So
I had that comic book at one point. I wish I still did.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't have an Easter egg. I'm not giving you one.
Okay, that's fine. We got so excited about Horror Night stuff that it was hard to think about that kind of stuff. And my wall of shames really quick. It's that somebody on Facebook, I think they thought they were being funny, said they saw the Monstros of Latin America house announced today. They said, "Oh, does that mean all us Latinos get to go straight to the front of the line?" And people on there like commenting like, you realize that's 90% of the Orlando population, right? Like the express line would be longer. The Latino line would be longer than the standby line.
The one house has this separate line. Oh my God.
You're not funny. All right. That means all us, non-minorities get into all the other houses before the Latinos.
Oh God.
Oh, so that's racist, but allowing the Latinos to go first, isn't it?
Yes. Jesus.
Well, I'm a quarter Hispanic, so I get the best of both worlds.
El Dave. My wall of shame comes from a lot of these motherfuckers out here posting on Universal bitching that they didn't get the DreamWorks preview. It's not going anywhere, and this goes for any fucking preview out there for anything unless it's epic, which I understand is a little different. It's not going anywhere, and it's fucking DreamWorks land. It's a different demographic. It's catered towards. Don't worry, you'll get your fucking Shrexel.
Yeah. What? Are you really gonna go to the preview just to get on Roller Coaster? It's been there.
I mean, I went and got on.
I know, but it's been there since the 90s. You're not missing it's the same thing.
I get it. You're excited, but you don't need to bemoan and curse everybody under the sun and say Universal's the absolute worst thing ever, and they need to get brand new websites and change their. They're not going to invest money on IT and websites for a single limited time thing. They're not going to change how they do previews. This is DreamWorks land. There's not going to be a capacity limit to the actual land like Potter. You're going to get in. Go June 14th. If you didn't get in this week, sorry. Relax.
It's probably not going to be very busy on June 14th either.
No. So. There's going to be the Hogwarts show, the Lagoon show, and then especially come July when the parade's happening, just go in during the parade. That's always been such a good piece of advice at Disney. Universal has a parade again. When the parade's happening, go do other shit. Go on the roller coaster. You'll be fine.
Actually, I'll be watching the parade because that parade sounds badass.
Well, yeah, also watch the parade. Give that love.
Mm-hmm.
All right, time for our voicemail. Yes, it's time for our voicemail. If you have a voicemail, give us a call. Leave it at 407-490-2220. Dave, this one comes from our good friend Fish, podcast
Nice.
mentor, and he talked to me for part of the day Wednesday, telling me we're doing okay.
We also do not pre-screen these, so
No,
we have no idea. We have
we're
no
playing
idea
it
what's
live. So let's give it a go.
Okay, I think I got it right this time. I couldn't get my Instagram loaded. Hello, Bill and Dave. I don't call either of you that, but we'll go with it. Shout out to producer Brennan, who's the real talent on the show. Actually, I do call her producer Brennan. It's Fisher. So, all right, we're officially in Horror Night season, as we've now had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 house announcements, all original, not original IPs. So here's my question. All right. So from the order of release, Slaughter Cinema 2, Goblin's Feast, Major Sweets Candy Factory, the Museum, Deadly Exhibits, and now today, which is May 23rd at 12:06 p.m. Eastern Time, Monstrous, the Monsters of Latin America. Those are the 5 originals that have been announced for Halloween Horror Nights Orlando. My question is this. Of those 5, what do you both feel, just knowing the names and the description of the houses, what is going to be your favorite? Oh. When I say favorite, I mean the one that you'll go to the most, the one that your last night of Horror Nights, you want to make sure that you're the last people through the house. I can't decide. Every time they make a new announcement, I keep saying that one's going to be my favorite. I think last year, it was not a Darkest Deal, right? Pretty much everyone who wasn't a fan of just IP houses, Darkest Deal was almost the consensus of the favorite house. So I look for location. The sprung tents are always solid. Mm-hmm. Storyline, the actors in the houses. I can't decide. I'm leaning right now Monstrous, but I was going Goblin's Feast. Then I'm thinking Slaughter Cinema 2. I can't decide. So I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say Monstrous. That's going to be the best. Even though it's downstage and I typically go with sprung tents as my favorite. Let's go with that one. So I'm interested in your opinions, and then we'll see when it all plays out and when we actually are at Halloween Horror Nights, if it ends up being the favorite after the event. All right. Podcasting is a dead industry. Good luck. Keep it going. Producer Brandon is the real talent.
Oh, no. See, I told you, we're fucked. Oh, God. Well, there's a lot in there, Fish. Thank you so much for your voicemail again. If you want to contribute your own voicemail, 407-490-2220. I'm going to send Fisher something from the theme park cave here at home base, recording studio. He's going to get something nice, just like Nathan before. Got some wonderful memorabilia from the 1990s.
I'm buying Fisher a beer when I see him because he referred to them as originals and not original IPs.
He knows better.
You get a beer, dog.
He knows better.
No, we could have played that voicemail at the beginning of the episode. We wouldn't have had anything.
I know. We could have save some time.
No, listening to kind of what he had to say about things, I changed it. I think the museum right now is my top anticipation.
Well, listen to what you said. You based on location, based on the name and what we know, either publicly, not publicly, rumored, speculative. I mean, Fisher's favorite house would be Goblin's Feast because he's gobbling these nuts, you know.
Yeah, he did say goblins there for a second, even though it should have been the last on his list.
No, Goblin. No, I'm gonna say still Goblin is bottom for everybody.
Yeah,
based on what's announced officially, there's nothing really left to the theater of the mind on Goblin's Feast and Sprung 10-3. Location alone, despite it being Sprung 10, it's just far. I don't want to walk that far, man. I'm excited by his enthusiasm by each announcement. He's saying, "Oh, this is it. Yeah. No, this is it. No, this is."
I'm glad he's excited for Monstrous.
Yes. And maybe we're saying it wrong. We might be monstrous.
Monstrous.
Monstrous
so
sound would be nice for words.
The only reason I say monstrous is because there's a Latin guy that does Universal Hollywood vlogs, and he referred to the house as monstros.
ZJ called it monstros, and he's
monstros, the monsters of Latin America.
Yeah. Do you have an answer for Fisher?
I said that my most anticipated house now, the one that I could see myself wanting to go through multiple times and be the last one in is probably the museum at this point.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Sprung Tent 1 is one of the easier walks if you're doing a loop, if you're doing laps. And Fast and Furious, again, there's the cursed location. Never has been super great. It could be broken by major suites, though I don't have a whole lot of anticipation. It's middle of the pack. Or fourth, actually, for what's been announced. Tomorrow's announcement could be groundbreaking, something super exciting, conceptually wise. And
what really resonated with me, the way you said it, what's the house that you would want to be the last person through? You know, I think about it and I'm like, Slaughter Cinema 1 was a great house. It was fun, but it wasn't that kind of vibe. It was a fun house.
Right.
But the museum just really popping out as saying, hey, you know, this is going to be a house that you're going to want to go through multiple times. You're going to want to be the last one through. It's just for some reason, it's just give me that vibe.
Right.
We'll see. I tend to like the tents more than the sound stages because they don't. So many people have been obsessed with stuff like what was that house? The Deathwater Bayou, or is that a Howl-O-Scream thing? The houseboat house.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I can't recall.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find
people
it. People
were obsessed with what was the one from last year? The
Winter's Wake,
the cult one. No.
Oh, Blood Moon.
That was 2 years ago. Blood Moon.
I loved Blood Moon.
I thought they were fun, but I don't like when the sets are over detailed. I like a dark, quiet, creepy place, not one where you can see giant buildings and, you know, you can see to the other sets from another set, you know. I like those dark, tight spaces type houses.
Dead Waters was the house.
Yeah, Dead Waters.
In 2017.
Yeah. But I think the museum is going to be one of those, it's a great set piece, but it's also tight and close together and creepy, you know?
Well, yeah, the Sprung Tents force the Hornets creative team to be creative. You're limited space. You can't just explode and blow your load all over the soundstage walls here.
I mean, I've done it once or twice, but...
Well... Descends of Destruction, man. They put a fucking full subway train in there.
Yeah, there was a subway train in the
tent.
Patient Zero.
Yeah. The tents force creativity, and we've seen a lot of great stuff come from them. Not to say it's always the case.
Tents usually happen to be my favorite houses.
Yeah. Even though Blood Moon was my favorite last year. I just loved the courtyard scene. We could see through the entire house, more or less, and then the church scene's always a banger. Fuck you. That was a good house.
Right.
Darkest Steel was good. Yeah.
Darkest Steel was the best.
So yeah, Fisher, good question. Thank you so much for your voicemail. I think we're in agreement. The museum dark deadly exhibit or exhibits, the official Twitter says exhibit, the visual graphic says plural exhibits. I would definitely say that's probably most anticipated. And then Monstros is definitely going to be number 2 for if I want to be in a house, the last one in the house on the last night, based on name, graphic, and concept alone. One of those two, though. Museum is agreed upon by the show. We got to get producer Brennan's opinion on it. Should I have her call in?
Yeah, have her call in.
Okay.
Maybe tell us a fun fact about Universal that doesn't involve a one-legged lady.
Did you know on the men's side there's a 2-legged man at the jogging bathroom?
No, that's one leg. The other thing's just his penis.
Thank you so much for listening to Park Talk Radio. Follow us on all socials at Park Talk Radio. Give us a call, 407-490-2220. Send us an email, parktalkradio@gmail.com. Dave, last words.
Oh, I do want to thank your dad for sending my daughter a donation for her cheer team for her fundraiser.
Oh,
So,
that's sweet of him. You scammed another
sorry-
one. Good job.
Sorry if you didn't listen to the end, but we really appreciate that, and my wife is so happy you did that, and she's so appreciative, and so am I. So,
Well, thanks, Dave. I'm sure my dad appreciates the shout out as well. Listener Brian has definitely contributed to the show before with some Easter eggs and other pieces, and it's always nice to support the showmates and Dave Scam.
it's not a scam. Trust me.
Thank you all. We'll see you in the park.